But you know who will get fired? Let me tell you that. Whew, the hosts of Good Morning America. Sounds like they are going away, everybody. TJ and Amy, well, it sounds like their days are done after their scandal at Good Morning America. It's been about a month since this came out, I think a little bit more. But ABC and Good Morning America, they're talking about this scandalous affair. And apparently they had a mediation meeting on Thursday and they sat down. It did not go well at all. Not even close, apparently, to the point where they're working on an agreement. They haven't signed the dotted line, but it's going to have it be a mutual parting from the company. The two of them are going to step down. It's going to happen immediately once they sign it. They're saying there's various forms of misconduct. They're saying that the staffers feel uncomfortable on set and they're just not happy. And they've been working together since 2020, and there's been this whole love affair, which, if people don't know about this, that it went down not too long ago where it found out where they were having an affair, cheating on their significant others. And apparently they were saying, well, their relationships were done already, so this wasn't a big deal. But apparently it's affecting the show. If it causes scandals, it's not good for the company. We joked about it before, saying that maybe it'll lead to like America's first couple on air, which is already Morning Joe, which we talked about before. But they're 49 and 45, and they'll probably find new jobs after this, and they're actually getting bought out of their contracts on top of this. So they're gonna get paid out, and they're gonna get pushed away and moving on from Good Morning America, and then they'll have new hosts come in. But they've already had temp hosts; they haven't been on the air the whole time, so they might just keep their people now, or maybe they'll do a new casting for new people because they are temp people there. Joanna, you hear about this. What do you think about this situation? Do you think this is good that they're leaving and stepping away? Or do you think that their love should bloom and they should be allowed to stay on Good Morning America and keep having their show?
I think we should go on as a throuple. That's what I think. I think the three of us head on to Good Morning America. We'll split whatever the two of them were making. I feel like we could do that. And we'll bring some fresh meat, some fresh drama. We're all here. They know they have the opportunity to know what we're capable of.
Yeah, very true.
My feelings on it are, first of all, I'm like, if you're cheating on your spouse, it's a no-no, right? So I'm like, if you guys were cheating, not good. NG, no bueno, don't do it. Now, if you were separated, it's very sticky, right? Because you're like, when were you separated? Like, when did this happen? Was it because of this person? Was it like related to that? Were you separated long ago? Like, what's the situation? As far as I'm concerned, I kind of think Scandal is like good for the shows. Like, I think it's like, I mean, you're Good Morning America. You're not CNN. You're not like the New York Times. Like, this is not like the most, like, it's kind of like, not to say like, it's not the Inquirer and the fact that they obviously produce quality news. But I'm like, I think we're taking ourselves slightly too seriously on this one. And then in addition, you're firing them with pay. Like,
with pay.
That was like
buying them out.
That was like all of the police who murdered people and were convicted of murdering people. And in the interim of that, we're like, we're going to let you go on administrative leave with pay. And I'm like, that is not a punishment. Last I checked. Like, if we want to punish you, maybe take back your money or be like, you definitely broke a clause, which they said they didn't do. They were like, we did not, like, with the clauses that were there, we didn't violate any of those. So I'm like, if I were the company and the lawyers that work for GMA, I would be finding a way to keep my money so that they could pay us to come onto the show. That's how I feel.
I think that'd be great. Allocate that money this way, because honestly, to pay them off after all this too, it's really strange to me too, but I guess they have contracts, so there must be something. They were trying to work it out, Joanna. They were trying to work it out so they could stay on the show, but apparently these mediation meetings have not gone well at all, where it's a fact where they're like, we just can't deal with these people anymore. It's time to part ways. But it is kind of interesting that they're getting paid to go away, pretty much. It's almost like hush money, like, hey, just step aside, do your thing. But that happens when they buy people out of their contracts too. It happens in the film industry too. And it's just how it goes. And it's happening for them too. Whatever their contract is, it must be good to the fact where they're getting bought out. It must involve scandal, something, there's something we must not know about. Sabrina, you hear about this. What do you think too? Do you think it's right they're getting paid off for this? And do you think it's good that they're stepping away from the show?
I mean, first of all, I think they're getting paid because they didn't break a morality clause. Like they didn't break their contract. they're getting paid because they don't want them there anymore. And since they didn't do anything wrong per se, they have to pay them. They can't just be like, you're fired, even though you have a contract, because we don't want you here anymore because things kind of look bad, even though you didn't technically break any of the rules of your contract. So I think that they should get paid because really ABC is breaking their contract. If there was nothing specifically that barred them from having a consensual relationship with each other, then they should get paid if they don't want them on the air anymore because they have a contract. Also, like Ty just said, affairs are like glasses of water these days. You have 8 a day if you're healthy. This during that show that are having affairs. So, like, I don't want to act so shocked and upset by it. That's part of life, unfortunately. People are going to be assholes and they're going to do the wrong thing. Now, if they both were unhappy with their spouses and they weren't really together, anymore, they were whatever in a tumultuous time. I don't agree. Like Joanna said, you should not cheat on your spouse, get a divorce, but things happen. You're with this person every day, every morning. You have feelings for whatever the fuck. If they didn't break their rules of their contract, I don't think they should get fired. I think they should get paid. They're grown adults. Like, it's not my employer's job to tell me how to run my personal life. You know what I mean? And also ABC, like, I think the whole world now is very conscious of everything. Like, you look at someone sideways and they're like, we're gonna have to fire you. That was a hostile work environment. You gave me the side eye when you walked by me and I don't feel comfortable around you anymore. Like, it was like the flight attendants after 9/11. Like, if a flight attendant didn't like the way you looked, they could kick you off the plane. They had more rights than the security, the airport people, the TSA. They were like, no, you have to go, and you would have to get off the plane because they had to be comfortable flying. So I think that everybody's in a hypersensitive state right now, and some of it is very justified, but I think a lot of it has gone too far. And these two people are two consenting adults that are very old. But I don't mean very old, like as in
shit,
like
very old.
I just mean I mean they're adults. Like they're not. It's not like they're 25 and 35. You know what I mean? They're in their whatever 50s,
in their 40s, 42 and 45. Yeah,
they're adults. They can make their own decisions. And if, like I said, they didn't break their contract, I think it's ridiculous. So I'm on their side. Go TJ and Amy. Just be a little
that's
more
what it comes
respectful of
down
your
to.
spouses next time.
And that's what it comes down to too. You're right, Sabrina. If they haven't, like, if that's what they found out in these mediation settings, that they haven't broken their contract, then of course they get bought out. That's just what it is. It's a parting thing. And this happens in film all the time too, where people are all of a sudden a couple in a relationship in a movie or a TV show, and then something happens, and then marriages break apart. It happens a lot in the film industry, or the hours away from your spouses too.
But they're not firing Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, are they? You know what I'm saying?
But they're not. No, because they're. If you think about it, they're like temp jobs. That's why. If you work in the film industry, you work for 3-4 months. Unless it's a TV show and you sign up for multiple, seasons, it's a temp job.
Okay.
It's like,
hold on. Hold on. So let's say that they're shooting Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I'm sorry, I love Brad Pitt. I'm sorry that I'm talking trash about you right now, but you did cheat on Jennifer Aniston. And he's working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith and banging Angelina Jolie. So everybody knows he's banging Angelina Jolie, and everyone knows he's with Jennifer Aniston. So you think they're going to stop production and be like, that's it. We're going to buy you guys both out. We're going to get a new Mr. and Mrs. Smith because you're having affairs. Like, it's
they're not going to do anything.
It makes
they're not going to do anything.
Sense.
They're going to finish the product, and they're going to put it out, and they're going to move on.
To be clear, though, and I 100% agree, by the way, if they started a Mr. and Mrs. Smith show tomorrow and that crap ran and shot 9 months of the year, they wouldn't do that same shit. But they also don't have morality clauses. Like, why are we having morality clauses in these TV? You're a TV host.
Because they know this shit happens, though, Joanna. That's why.
But it's like, it's that moment where it's like, and don't you think, like, if the IRS looks at me sideways, right? Like, if the IRS walks by and they were like, and I'm like, holy crap, like, what happened? Was in Texas? Was this something? Like, what happened? ABC, NBC, CBS, all these companies have billions of lawyers that cumulatively have made billions of dollars. So I'm like, if they can't find something in a clause to break the contract with you, then you are clearly like a Mother Teresa type. Like if they can't, that's why they have these lawyers. If I
Yeah.
heard from any of them, I'd be like, just quit. Like, let's change our name.
Just step away. Step away.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if these people are, if the companies are like, well, I guess we're just gonna pay it out. I'm like, then they must have been doing great because I'm not sure how you people couldn't break the contract. Like I'm not
And
sure.
what's the buyout going to be? It's going to be for like the rest of the remaining of their contract,
Whatever
probably
their
something like
contract
that.
is, yeah, I'm
Yeah, probably the
sure.
remainder of their contract. Look at when he got fired, they paid him out for the rest of his contract. That happened. I mean, these things go down like that. It just does. So maybe they'll get a few $1 million just to go home and, start a new life together. Or maybe they'll open up their own podcast or their own, maybe they'll move to some other, honestly, that's what happens. Look at Cuomo. He started his own podcast, got his own show again eventually. It's a venture point where you can go to and then build off of. So maybe that's what will happen with them too. Or maybe they'll just disappear into the sunset with their millions of dollars and just
they could both
have
retire
their little
just
love
fine
affair
right now. I'm sure they have plenty of money.
they're gonna be fine. But their whole relationship to me almost sounds like a reality TV show, which is insane to me.